What is going on, folks? So as you can see, we are back in the gun room for another 2A related discussion. And what am I going to talk about today? Well, I want to talk about reloading. And is reloading still a viable option in 2024? The short answer is yes and no. For me, more yes than no. And one of the biggest no's is, depending on caliber, it's actually cheaper to buy factory ammo. But we're gonna get into the more detail on that. But before we do that, I want to make an announcement, channel announcement. I have picked up a sponsor. So thank you to Mark at Browne Works Inc. He is a manufacturer of fine custom handgun grips. Now guys, look at these. He makes them out of exotic woods. He can stain them the color you want. He even made the channel logo medallion that he placed in this Kimber lightweight Shadow Ghost. Now, when I filmed the review, I had not discussed Mark, so I was an affiliate at first, and now he reached out and he is giving me an ammunition sponsor. So I appreciate that more than you know, Mark. He will be providing ammo for the channel, and that will help relieve some of the costs. I thank you so much for that. That is amazing. Guys, go check out, here's another one. Look at this. Look at this Taurus. This is a 30+ year old Taurus. Look how it spiced it up. Now, these are the original grips it came with, and they're not bad, but they're just, kind of standard wood grips. If you want, when I say truly custom, guys, these ain't those $20, $40 Amazon grips you can buy, whatever it is that everybody else buys. If you reach out to Mark and contact him, you can work with him. If you have a family crest, a business logo, sports team, I don't know all about the legality about all that kind of stuff, but reach out to him. He can make them truly custom from the ground up, from exotic woods, different color stains, greens, reds, blues. Go onto his website. I'm going to put an affiliate link down below and a 10% discount on his grips. He also, I don't have any for this, but he also is one of the few manufacturers that I found that will make grips for the Rock Island guns, especially the double stacks. And if you see right here, because this is a double stack and it requires a wide trigger bow, it needs these cutouts in the frame. So that's a little fragile piece right there. And they are also very thin. So these are really, not only are they custom, you can make them in snakeskin, all kind of materials. Please do me a favor, hit the link below, go over and check it out, peruse the website, get you something that is truly custom that you made to make your firearm totally unique, okay? He does great work. These things are beautiful. So again, thank you, Mark. Guys, go down the link below, go check out the website, see what he's got. If he doesn't have something he's got that you're looking for in stock, hit him up. He will work with you. Great dude. He will work with you to get you exactly what you're looking for your handgun, to customize it to exactly the way you want it. So now let's get into the topic at hand, reloading. And before somebody says something about, you're just flexing, because I get that crap a lot of times too, okay? Let me just give you a little bit of background. I did not come in, my family makes pretty good money, okay? I did not come into that money. It took me decades to work for that. It took my wife decades to work for that, okay? We've earned that. And yes, we have some nice things, but a lot of the stuff, I gotta say, when I show like a SCAR or an expensive rifle, you're just being crass and mean and rubbing your nice stuff in your face. No, I purchased that years ago, decades ago. In the case of the SCAR, when it first came out, I purchased that decades ago when it was a lot cheaper than they are now. Much like these machines. Some of the stuff I'm going to show you, and you old guys will remember, pre-Sandy Hook. Okay, 2012 is when it really started to get crazy, and then the pandemic just pushed it over the edge. Okay, and some of you guys will remember that type of stuff. But I purchased these. Okay, these are both Dillon 650s. They don't even make the 650 anymore. I think it's been replaced by the 750. And this is an RL 1050, which is a really old machine that I bought off Buddy Carpy. You know who you are. Shout out. I bought that off of him before I moved out here, okay? That's not a Super 1050. That's not the latest and greatest. That is old. That thing's probably 20 years old, all right? Now, I know this is going to shock you guys because the prices are insane, but there was a time when a lot of this stuff was a lot cheaper. I think I paid, and I'm not exaggerating, for the presses by themselves around $400, $450 for the 650s, okay? And then you throw on the collator and all this other stuff. They were $550, $600. I got used from a guy at work. One I bought straight off the Browne Eno site back in the day. I don't even know if that's still around. And one I got off a guy at work who, it was too complicated for him. He didn't want to, he wanted just a small little Lee, and I get it. And he wanted to get rid of that. And so I offered him $400, I think, the whole shebang-a-bang, and I bought it. All right, and now I have them set up now. The reason I have two is, yes, you can change the primer feeder from small to large, but it's kind of a pain in the ass and it slows production down if you really want to make a lot of ammo. So I think this one is set up in the small pistol primer configuration. So anything that takes small pistol primers, I use this machine for. So 38 Super, 223, 380, 38 Special, 357 SIG, all that kind of stuff, minus 9mm, because this one's a dedicated 9mm. This one is not as easy just to switch quick change tool heads like these. So this one is dedicated 9mm, all right? And this one is small pistol primer. For everything else, that's small pistol or rifle primer. I should say small, because I can do 300 blackout, all that kind of stuff on here. This one is set up for large primers. So 10mm, 45, it really makes a lot of 45 actually. But large primer, small primer, that one's dedicated to 9mm. And if you guys want, I'll do a more in-depth video on those. But again, I bought these years ago, and I paid a lot less than they cost now. Like I said, they don't even make the 650 anymore. They changed to the 750, but I believe the tool heads are all interchangeable and stuff like that. Now, today, to just get a tool head, just get a caliber conversion for one of these, okay? That is the tool head, the powder, drop. You got to buy the dies. It's almost, if not more, than the whole press that I paid for back in the day. So it's around $350, $400 for a full caliber conversion. If you want to get the plates and the powder drop and the dies and the tool head with the powder measure and all that kind of jazz, it's really expensive, but it is top of the line stuff. So I understand. Guys, reloading, and this is for the new guys. I know the old guys have been in the game. I'm preaching to the choir here, but this is for the new guys. Reloading is very expensive on the front end. You got to come out of pocket. If you want to do it right, you got to come out of pocket for the press, the materials, the powder measures, the scales, all kinds of stuff. So you're going to be up front, you're going to pay a lot of money. And you used to be able to recoup that money depending on how much you shoot. So back in the day when I bought these and when I got into it, and this is not a lie, some of the old reloaders there can back me up, I was paying 5 to 6 cents a round. Now that's picking up range brass for 9mm. 5 to 6 cents a round. Primers used to be $20 a thousand. You see this? This is large pistol primers. All right, Winchester large pistol primers. $20 a thousand. The buddies and I used to buy them by the sleeve. 5,000 at a clip with the hazmat fee. We chip in a hazmat fee. So you'd have a sleeve of 5 of these. 5,000 small pistol primers for $20 to $25 a piece for 1,000. And you're paying, with hazmat thrown in, you're paying $110, $120 a sleeve. $120 a sleeve for 5,000. I'm going to show you the price of these right now. Look at that, and look at the date on there. Okay, that's 12. What's that say? 12/5/23. So at the time of filming this is July. It was 6 months ago. 102. 102.99. So it's a 5-fold increase in cost of primers. Okay, It's insane. Powder. I got some old bullseye that I shoot. I paid, it's got the price tag on it. When I was in Virginia, $22 a pound. It's $44 a pound now, 45, around there. It's more than doubled, all right? The same thing with the projectiles. So at the current time that I'm filming this is July, mid-July of 24. It is, for the reason of saving money, which was one of the big reasons that, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, one of the big reasons that a lot of reloaders did back in the day. And shooting competition, the other benefit was you could tailor your load to the gun. You could mess with the springs and tailor it to the gun. And in USPSA, to make, when they drop the power factor to 165 to make major, you could save it saves wear and tear on your gun. It saves a little bit of powder and stuff like that. So you could customize the load to your specific gun for competition purposes to save money, because at 5 cents a round, it was so much cheaper to shoot 9mm than it was 15 cents a round, because you used to be able to buy 1,000 rounds of like Wolf, Tula, whatever for around 150 bucks. And then it got crazy after Sandy Hook, and then calmed down, and then it got crazy again, especially after COVID. And now it seems like it's starting to come back down, because you can get, at the time of making this again, you can get 9mm, a case of 9mm from whatever company for about $2.50. So you're paying about 25 cents a round. But that's still 5 times the price in a little over a decade of what reloaders were paying. So when it comes to 9mm, I would say no. At this current time, it does not make financial sense to reload 9mm. But there are other reasons besides finances to reload. For example, getting back to Sandy Hook in 2012 and COVID, I didn't have any problems. Sandy Hook struggled a little bit. I was to the point where I was, because it went on for years and years. I was, what do you call that? Casting. I was casting lead bullets to be able to continue to shoot, because you could not. It was just ridiculous getting reloading supplies. But I still held on, because I still had tons of primers and powder. I ended up running out of projectiles, or getting close to running out of projectiles, to the point where I was casting my own bullets. But when this COVID stuff happened, I was ready to go. I didn't need nothing. I didn't need nothing. So that's one benefit of reloading. You are your own island. Depending on how much stuff you have, how many components and stuff like that, you're not affected by ammo prices and all that other kind of stuff. And also, a lot of people will be out there. Another benefit is you're not affected by government regulation for the most part. Now they can, if they're going to come after ammo, they're going to figure it out, and they're going to come after reloading components. I think California has done that stupid crap. But if you're able to buy a lot of the stuff and store it, remember, it doesn't cost you more than what you paid for it at the time. And an example of that is, right now, if you can find it, because of the Russia-Ukraine war and the embargo and Russian ammo, and they're trying to get other 7.62 in, and PSA said they're going to start making 7.62, which I think they are, but it's still expensive. I'm going to show you something that I bought probably 20 years ago, okay? Probably 20 years ago. That is like gold to the AK guys now. And it's untouched in the box, and it has the price written on it that I paid for it at a gun show in Virginia like 20 years ago, all right? And this is heavy, so I'm gonna reach over here and excuse me, but God, okay. This is, if you see, 7.62 by 39. This is small arms, made in Russia, imported by Vempel. This is, look at that price right there, $155. $155. Let me say that. Oh, $155 for 1,000 rounds of, I don't know if the old guys might remember this too, of Golden Tiger 7.62 by 39. That's Russian factory ammunition. All right, $155. So what's that, 15 and a half cents? 15 cents a round? Now it's like, if you can find it for 1,000, last time I checked, it was like 450 plus shipping and stuff. So you're up like 45 cents a round. That's 3 times the price. In the late 90s, early 2000s, you could pick up Wolf, and to Wolf was the biggest one, Wolf, Tula, stuff like that, for $89 a thousand. So this was even up from that. But point is, I paid $155. To replace that now would cost me $450. So it didn't cost me $450 because I paid what I paid then, and it just sat around and the prices went up because of all this inflation and all this other crap. So if I was to shoot that up, I'd be shooting that for 15 cents a round. So it's a third the cost of the current ammunition. But then you get into the point where you're like, oh, I don't want to shoot it because it's unopened and now it's almost like a collector's item and stuff like that. But getting back to, if you primarily shoot 9mm, unless you're very interested in the science of reloading and in the independence of reloading, and what I mean is you set that stuff aside if there's ever crazy ammo prices, and you'll see videos, my God, ammo prices are going crazy again. And you'll go, I'm good. I don't need, I'm good. I got everything I need. If you're going to get into competition and you're going to shoot a lot and you need to make 9 major loads or tailor your ammunition, like you can shoot for people that make custom ammunitions, factory 9mm usually goes from like 115, 124, and 147. Those are usually the 3. Now I know you can get them lighter in the 100s and 90s, and I know you can get a little bit heavier for suppressed stuff, but those 3 are the big bullet weights for factory 9mm. Some reloaders will shoot, and companies that sell reloading compounds, components, will reload 150s, 155s, whatever. Some of them will use 130, 38 super bullets because it's the same thing. So they can tailor. You have a ton of flexibility to tailor a competition load to your competition gear, to your competition pistol and stuff. So that's one reason I'd say, if you think you're going to do it completely because of financial purposes when it comes to 9mm, don't do it. Just buy the factory and stock up on it, because with all the craziness going on, who knows when the government's just going to go full communist, because they're already halfway there, and just raid personal, oh, well, they were breaking the law, and lie about it. We know how these alphabet agencies do this bullshit, lie about whatever they want to lie about. They're violating their, you already see them going after FFLs. Next they can go, well, the Second Amendment doesn't protect ammunition, so we're just going to get rid of that ammo. And they're trying that crap too. If you do that, you're beholden to the market, to the government, to private business. If you're able to buy the components and stock up yourself, it's the same as if you were able to buy a bunch of factory ammo and stock up too, So if you think about getting into reloading purely for financial gain, or for the financial reason to save money, making 9mm at this particular time, I would not do it, because it's cheaper. It's almost cheaper, if not cheaper, just to buy the 1,000 factory ammo. But if you shoot other ammo, okay, like 45, it still is cheaper for me. Not a whole lot, but it still is cheaper for me to reload 45. 38 Super is expensive. It's cheaper for me to reload 38 Super, and it's expensive, and it's kind of rare. Now, some of the stores now, it's crazy, because some of the stores now, I think 38 Super is gaining a little bit of popularity, because some of the local stores are starting to carry it now, and I like seeing that, but it's still like $32 a box for 38 Super. I'm reloading it for a lot cheaper than that. The 38 Special. And remember, you could continue to reload. You'd be a FUD like me and bend over, get back pain from bending over and chicken pecking all the brass and stuff. But you can get endless. I got 45 brass. I lost count of how many times I've reloaded that before it's failed. So that's one place to save money, is on the brass. But if you're doing more exotic calibers like 45 gap, it helps because of the way 45 gap is, and they do limited runs because it's a dying caliber. It helps if I'm able to reload it. 44 Special, for some of these not common, super common 9, 40, 45, 357 Magnum, 38 Special, And I'm able to reload a lot of that a lot cheaper than buying the factory stuff. Also, in the case of cartridges like 10 millimeter, it's kind of well known on YouTube and the gun community that I think for liability reasons, a lot of companies download their 10. Let's face it, it's shit. People want the real 10, which is like 180 grain bullet going 1,200 feet per second or over. If you're over that, that's a good 10 load. Preferably a 200. Now that's spicy. A 200 grain pill going over 1,200. Now you're talking. Now you got a 10 mil. But a lot of companies, I think, are scared of liability. And so they load 10 millimeter light, 10 millimeter weak. If you're into that, I got some right here. These are, I forget what these are, Sierras or something. If you're into that, be careful, but you always got to be careful. You can make your own spicy loads, and you don't have to go out there and search and pay a bunch of money for Buffalo Bore, because only a few companies out there that really make what people call real 10 millimeter. You can make your own, and it's a little bit cheaper, so take that into account. If you're into really spicy ammo, 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum, and you're not feeling like the ammunition manufacturers are meeting what you can get out of the round, if you reload, you can make your own. I do that with 38 Super. I'm able to get a 124 grain projectile to go over 1350. You're not getting that from any of the factory. 38 Super is a weird little guy, and they call it plus B, but it's not. That's so people don't accidentally chamber it in a 38 ACP gun from way back in the day and blow their gun up. But even from the factory, the 130s are doing about 1150. So I'm able to get a 124, depending on the projectile, able to get a 124 over 13. Over 13, that's 150 to 200 feet per second faster because of different powders and all that other kind of stuff than what the factory can offer. Now, in my opinion, bottom line, I mentioned at the front, I think reloading is still viable. I think young people should still get into reloading. I know the initial cost up front is going to sting, but if you're sitting there, you need ammo the next day, let's say, because I'm sure this has happened to people before. Oh, I'm going to go to the range with my buddies. Oh, I don't have any ammo. I got to stop by Walmart in the morning. All of a sudden, no, you just come right here and knock out 1,000 rounds. I can make, 1,000 rounds, 1,200 rounds. I think these go for 1,200 rounds an hour. Now that's, theoretical and hypothetical and stuff like that. But you can, in a couple of minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, you can knock out 100 rounds of ammo. Boom. And out the door and go shoot. And you're not like, I got to go to Walmart. Oh, Walmart doesn't have it. Or it's too expensive. Or I got to wait till the local gun store opens up. It gives you a lot more flexibility and freedom in a lot of ways. One, you're not beholden to the prices. If you buy a bunch of stuff, ahead of time, you're not beholden to the stores, the supply chain issues. You're not beholden to pandemics and all that other kind of stuff. You can tailor your, again, custom loads. The only negative I would say nowadays is stuff is, again, very expensive. Only thing I would say nowadays, to me, that would be a negative is one, the upfront cost, because these are, looking around, these are a lot more expensive now. I think the 750s, what are they, 1,000, 1,200? Somebody let me know. I forget, but I looked them up, but they're freaking expensive now. And this one's even more expensive. The 1050s are insane. I think they're like over $3,000. So the initial upfront cost is ridiculous. And when it comes to 9mm, you're better off just buying factory because it's actually cheaper. If not, reloading it might be a tiny bit cheaper, but not with all the work you got to go through and stuff like that. On the other hand, being able, again, to tailor in a bunch of different ways your ammunition choices. Oh, here's one I forgot about. I think it's right over here. Hang on one sec. Yeah, here you go. here's a little way you can experiment with reloading. I want to show you something. Now, this is, look at, what does that say? Let me see if it's picking it up. What does that say? I don't know if it's picking it up, but this is Tula. Here's some right here also, okay? Tula 40 Smith & Wesson. What is that? What is that? Tula 40 Smith & Wesson, okay? This one's factory, it hasn't been changed yet. But I have necked this down to 357 SIG. Yes, you can use 40 brass to use 357 SIG. Now, technically, 357 SIG is a little bit longer in the neck area here. But, much like a rifle, 357 SIG indexes, it headspaces off the shoulder, okay, off the shoulder of the round like a rifle. So this neck dimension, and you're talking about, while this is a high pressure pistol cartridge, relatively compared to like rifles, pistols are very low pressure. So it's not a danger, and I don't load these like to super specs, but the neck up here is a little bit shorter, but they still, and I can do a video on it. I'll do a video on it if you guys want. Let me know in the comments down below. I neck down 40 brass. Here's another one, 357 SIG. This is something you can do with reloading. I said, oh, I got the, and this is just to see if I can do it. Oh, I got all these steel Tula 40 ammo, picked up the cases. Can these be reloaded into 357 SIG? And these have been reloaded and fired because look, the factory primer on a Tula 40 is the gold color. These are silver. So yes, you can. So if you want to experiment with stuff, reloading is for you. I think reloading is a skill that people should know just to get into the ballistic sciences of it and all that other kind of jazz. I know cost is prohibitive. That again, that's one of the negatives. But all the other positives I've listed, like all the freedoms you have for it, all the ways you have to experiment, all the other jazz, to me, is worth the cost. And other than 9mm, you do still save money. You really do. Excuse me, still save money by reloading for other calibers, especially 5.56, especially rifles and things. Rifles is a big one, and things and odder calibers, you know, like 10 mil, stuff like that, 38 super. You really do save money in those areas. Again, though, also again, depending on how much you shoot. If you shoot a lot, it will even save you more money, which is kind of counterproductive because you are spending more money. But if you were going to spend that much money anyway on ammo, reloading it is the way to go. So let me know what you guys think. Is reloading a skill that young people should get into? Is it still viable nowadays with the cost of everything going up? Guys, again, I cannot explain enough to you, to the younger people out there that don't know. It was insanely cheaper to reload 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It was ridiculously cheaper. And that's the reason most people got into it, because if you're a high volume shooter, it would save you so much money. Now, I'm repeating myself again, now especially with 9mm, not so much, because they have jacked up all the components too. So thanks for watching, guys. We will see you next time.